Hello, everybody. Welcome. I am so excited that we have so many people joining us today. If you are new to the show, welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Evening Vibes. I'm your host, Riley J, pronouns he, him. And this is going to be a good show. I'm really excited. This is a show that I really need today. It's been a week of life lessons in our household. Before I say too much more, I always like to ask people how they're doing, how they're feeling. Feel free to put in the comments how you're doing. Feel free to say why you may be feeling a certain way if you want to. We create a little community here on Evening Vibes. We like to create a family, create a safe space. This is your 1 hour to unwind, to relax, to just take your mind off whatever you're worrying about. So bring how you're feeling to the table and then just let it go. Thank you for joining us. Wendy, Julie, Jenna, my three that are always joining. If you're here, feel free to say hello in the chat so we know that you're here. We're excited to have you. But yeah, our household has been dealing with a lot of life lessons within the last week. It's just, all you can do is keep pushing forward. All you can do is kind of just take that higher ground. You keep pushing forward and you just do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Hi, April. It's good to see your name. I hope you're doing okay. So yeah, you just keep pushing forward. You keep fighting through. And like we talked about, if you were on the show last week, we had my cousin Christine, and her and I talked about conflict and the importance of conflict. It helps you grow. It helps you become a better person, and it helps you learn. So you can only do what you can do and just keep being a person and moving forward. Hi, Luna. Thanks for joining. Across the bottom here, you will see my tipping methods. It's always appreciated. The money that I earn on the show, I just use towards the technology of the show, lighting, the bills for the different sites that we use. I also use it for the internet. We have a faster internet speed, so any tips that you send my way is always super duper appreciated, but is never necessary. So hi, Christine. Hi, Mom. Christine, I was just talking about you. Look at you. Hey. And of course, hi, Boo. Hi, Jaden. I hope you're doing good out in the living room with Hershey. So with that being said, let's get this show started. I'm so excited for today's guest. I see him dancing down in his little corner. Okay, so for my regular viewers, beyond like Jenna and my mom, a lot of you may not know today's guest, and that is okay because he is amazing. You will get to know him super quick. He has the best energy I've ever met in another human being. He was super likable in high school, and he's super likable still today, and I just love him. Oh, hi, Patrick and Susan. So everyone, please welcome to your screens, Elijah Stinson.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Making the best of everything here in New York City. Tuning. Yep. So
I think you might be my first person who's like far away. I've had a couple guests from Ohio, but I haven't had anyone like further from me because Ohio, and now that I'm in like southeast Michigan, Ohio's like boom. So it's so exciting to have someone that's across the nation.
yeah, on the East Coast. Yeah. Yeah. It's been very interesting here in New York, actually. Especially since everything that has been going on, like about 5-6 months ago, they were talking about how this was the epicenter of the pandemic just because there were so many people. Right. And now we see New York actually doing better than some of the other, states that, so it's just very interesting to see that happening. But yeah, because I know at home, I talked to my family and they were saying how in Michigan, people don't really, have to wear masks anymore and stuff like that. But here it's an everyday thing. Like everywhere you go, like I would say 95% of people are wearing masks.
So. Hold up. Who's saying that nobody's got to wear masks here in Michigan? Wait,
well, I heard through some people that the mandate was kind of lifted. So I don't know.
I don't know who you talking to. It's been maybe, I mean, there was a point that we thought we were like on the mend, but within the last week, there's been new orders put down that like masks are required
Okay. Yeah, because I heard,
everywhere. Yeah.
wasn't Michigan shut down for another 3 weeks?
Yep, that's what's going on right now. We're in the midst of that. I think we're on
No.
week two. I think last week was the first week. So yeah, we're on week two. Restaurants are struggling because they don't know what they should be doing, but
And even restaurants here are still struggling. So that's across the board, I'm sure.
well, and April said, to be fair, so April is with me here in Michigan, and she said, I've seen so many people lately without masks. So I guess maybe people are choosing, but it's still required. It's highly required and suggested here in Michigan.
Okay.
Have you noticed? So New York is like, it was known as like the melting pot. Does it still feel that way?
Melt. So before COVID, you saw a lot of different people because there were so many tourists, coming in and out. And now, I would still say it's the melting pot in a sense because there's so many people that do, still live here and they have their life here.
Right.
But the streets aren't, as crowded. The hustle and bustle is not as intense as it used to be, which is something I miss because I just like, that feeling of being busy, having something to do, having some place to go, I have things to do, people to see. But even now it just seems, a little bit, slower, and it's just different because it's almost like we've brought like the Michigan vibe to, a big city, and it's just weird to see it. So,
right. Well, and that's what places like New York are known for. They're known for like their hustle and bustle. So to make it feel like just another like average city, I can't.
I know. Yeah. But I mean, there's still like the staples, like you still have like, like the Rockefeller Center, and like they're still doing like the Macy's Day Parade they put out. They're still trying to do what they can to, to stay true. But it's just very different to see how things, come to play. So
we said New York. I was pointed out to me we didn't say what part of New York.
So I'm in Manhattan, in Washington Heights. So I'm on the express train. I'm probably a good maybe 20 to 30 minutes from like Times Square, like the heart of the city. So
I mean, relatively speaking, that's not too far.
Nope, not at all.
Like that's a little nice commute there.
Yep. Yeah.
That's crazy. So are you working then?
So yeah, let's talk about work, shall we?
Let's get into it. What are you doing? What's New York work look like?
So when I moved back to New York, I actually did not have a plan. I was applying for jobs. I was at home for like 5 months, and then I was like, you know what? I want to get back. Things I see people are, kind of moving back and having some opportunities come up. So I was like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to do it because I love my family, but I just didn't want to be, at home essentially like right there. Cause I was like, I have this apartment here that I'm still paying for that I wasn't living in.
Which isn't cheap in New York.
And ours is considered cheap, low key. But, so I came back and I was looking for work. One of my good friends, Sierra Lowe, I went to school with her. She actually got me a job doing like political phone calls, like phone banking. That was a very interesting experience. Just, calling different types of people, saying their political views, before this whole election happened. Very interesting experience. And then after that, I actually got an opportunity from one of my roommate's friends. My roommate's name is Larissa. I went to school with her as well. And we were doing these audition tapes for a girl, one of her friends. Her name is Elizabeth. And it was like a nice little escape because it was like the first theater thing that I've done.
Right.
And so through her, there was a friend, and she offered me a job. I went to it, and it's at a dry bar. Now, I don't know if many of you know what a dry bar is, but it is
I think I know what that
is. So they don't like to use the word or the term salon, but it's like going into a bar, but it's for hair. And mostly women go, but you do have a few men, who have long, gorgeous hair, so they come into, and they get their hair styled. And so I'm the bartender. That's what they call me. And so I'm taking the appointments, making sure everything is, going as it should be, helping the stylist, clean up and everything. And this is a job that I never thought that I would have.
Right.
Bartending, being this like host at a dry bar for, these like business women who are still working from home and doing different things like that. So it's just nice to have a job where I feel like I am kind of still using my skills as a person in theater.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. It's not exactly where I want to be, but it's nice to have that opportunity because, work is hard to find, and to be in the city and to have that. And they hired me on the spot, which was a blessing. So I have that job. And then actually this Sunday, my old job, I work with Broadway Crew.
Mm-hmm.
Many of you may not know what that is. So Broadway Crew is a job amongst many others that promote for Broadway shows. Now, since Broadway is shut down, we aren't able to do what we usually do, which is on the streets, talking to, different people about, come see the show, come see the show. But we are working with the New Year's Eve, festivities. So we're doing the ball.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and it's called the Wishing Wall. So we're going to be out there, and we're going to be taking people's, wishes down. They're going to write them down and everything. And we're going to have to like sanitize the pens all the time. They're going to be like dunked in solution. And
Oh my gosh.
they're doing a lot, and we're going to have to be socially distanced, but they still want to try to make New Year's Eve. Again, this is New York trying to, try to keep these traditions, going amidst everything that's going on right now. So I will be doing that for the next month as well.
Wow. That's insane.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just crazy. I feel like I talk about this at least once with all my guests, but it's just crazy to see the difference of pre-pandemic to pandemic and what at this point like feels normal.
I know. You're telling me. I mean, even the mask thing, like there are some times where I'm having such a good day that I will walk down the stairs from my apartment and I know something is wrong. And then I'll get down the block and then I just realize, oh my God, I don't have my mask. And I was like, I got to go back and go and get it because I think my brain and my body is just trying to, get back to normal. And it's just like, oh.
Right. Well, now you're in the city. You're not in the place that you were considering your quarantine. Safety, for lack of better wording. And so you're just like driving, going about your business. And
trying to. For sure. Yep. So.
Hi, Josie. Hi. Welcome.
Josie, Jenna. Hi.
Yeah, look at all the people. You can see everyone who's watching. I noticed that Jenna knows some of these people. Are these from college that you
so, Larissa is my roommate. I met her at Central Michigan University along with Sierra Lowe, who I talked about earlier. And we were in the same musical theater program at Central. So
Gotcha.
That's how we know each other. Yeah.
I've always been vicariously like living through you. Like you did the musical theater in college, which I did theater. But then you pursued it and you were like going to New York. And I was like,
yeah,
just going to live through Elijah.
Literally, after high school, I knew that's what I wanted to do. And I love to do it. And I honestly, doing all the other jobs that I've done, I really can't see myself doing something else. I mean, I can do it. I have the skills. I have the ability to like kind of be a chameleon, I guess, in a sense, because I'll, get work done. But I know that I won't be at my fullest, like, happiness, and joy unless I'm doing something music, acting related, because that's just what I love to do.
Yeah.
So,
I remember I don't know if you were still in high school or if you just started college, but you had just written a song.
Yes. And it's funny that you bring that up because I actually just used that song in a TikTok with one of my favorite TikTokers. Okay. So for those of you that don't know, I wrote a song the summer before my freshman year in college. It's called Still Love You by Elijah Stinson. You can on Spotify, Apple Music. You can find it on YouTube. I made a little lyric video and stuff like that. But it's funny that you brought that up because today, one of my favorite TikTokers, he actually released a little video of him singing an original song, and him singing that reminded me of like even the way that he was like singing and playing the guitar. It reminded me of my song, so I did a little mashup with his original song, and then
awesome.
So yeah, so that's funny that you brought that up.
That's awesome. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I was looking for I was just looking through your Insta because I was looking for a photo to share in the event, and I saw the album cover, and I was like, "Baby Elijah." That's what when that first came out. No lie, I listened to that song on repeat. I was like, "This is my boo, Elijah. Yes, get it."
Honestly, I need to hold myself more accountable, and I should be writing more. But we'll get there. We'll get there.
Have you been scribbling any ideas or?
Actually, I mean, not really. I haven't. I think what my thing is that I was just like kind of do a little something here and then just forget about it. I haven't really been putting myself into it like I should. So I'm hoping that I do like get that same inspiration, that spark that I had when I wrote that first song, because that song I wrote in three and a half hours. I think it was late one night after I was because I was at Civic and we just got out of rehearsal for, I think it was Footloose. I think it was Footloose.
Mm-hmm.
And literally I was at home and something just dawned on me. I was like, I'm gonna write a song, and in 3.5 hours, that's what we got. And so I kept it and I got it recorded, and yeah.
Can we talk about, okay, so Elijah, you don't know. So Julia is one of our regular viewers. She is amazing. We love her to death. And she's really great at finding stuff for us super quick. And she just found your video and shared it for us in the comments.
Queen Julie, thank you. Thank you. That is so funny. Thank you so much. Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you.
So there you go, everybody. If you, after the show, want to check out Elijah's hit single, and it's there in the comments on Facebook for your viewing pleasure.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I want to jump over to your career in TikTok because Elijah, speaking on this comment specifically, I'll join TikTok just to watch Elijah. You're the reason I still have my TikTok. I was very in it. Listen, I was very in it for a minute. I thought like I was going to be the next TikTok star, as everyone does when they join TikTok. Mm-hmm. And I had it and I got it and I was like super obsessed. Like I watched it for hours and suddenly it just like, as soon as it was in my life, it was out of my life. I got over it really quick. But I was like, I got to keep this. I got to watch Elijah's TikToks. So I want to talk about your TikTok career.
Lord have mercy. Okay, so I wouldn't call it a career yet, but it is something that I have been very into, especially once because I kind of started at home when I was back in Michigan with my family. But then once I got back to New York, I just felt like I started coming up with more and more ideas and kind of feeling out how TikTok worked. So literally when was this? This was September, I think, that we moved back to New York because all my roommates were gone. And so we got back here like in September. And I think I had like 135, I want to say 32 followers. And then I noticed that once I started, like commenting on people's videos, just like in the spark of the moment, going into other people's lives and just like being myself and posting, different things. I started kind of grabbing a following, and and I started doing that at the beginning of November. And like within this like 4 weeks, now I have over 1,000 followers on TikTok. So I was able to do like a first live yesterday. So that was amazing. That was really fun, very different. And it was just one of those things where I was like, you know what, I can do this. I can make this happen. And it's so funny because I kept joking to my roommates. I'm like, I'm going to be TikTok famous and you're going to be TikTok famous and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And lo and behold, my roommate was like, by December 19th, you're going to be, you're going to be able to go live, or whatever. And it happened literally yesterday. So a lot sooner.
Well, and they don't know this, but what was it, like earlier this week, or it was the end of last week when I asked you if you wanted to do the show. I said, I hope you have time for me and my 20 viewers, because you have 1,000 TikTok followers, and you went 1,000, please. And then what?
Because I think I have like 800 at that point.
And then 2 days later, I go and look at your TikTok, you have over 1,000, and I was like, I only have 1,000. Elijah Stinson, November 28th, 2020.
That is funny. I know. And I was like, oop.
But I mean, I like your TikToks because they're a mix of like the things that I love about TikTok. The reason that I stopped being so involved with TikTok is what would come up on my like For You page, which for those that don't know TikTok very well, it is like just your home page. It has recommended viewer like videos to view, I guess. And I don't know, a lot of them just weren't funny to me. They weren't interesting. The ones that I liked are the ones that you actually still do on your channel, which are like, creating your own lyrics to a song, or like duetting with somebody that is like writing their song, or you just do like random funny things. I mean, we both grew up very religious, with religious families. So you do like a lot of jokes about like Sunday school and like what it's like in church and people gossiping about each other. Like,
and it's to the extreme, but it has happened. Yes, it's a very true thing. Like, for sure. I think that's why. I mean, even if I don't get a lot of views on something, I just like leaving it there because it was funny to me. So I'm just like, take it or leave it, but this is funny to me. So,
and then also for TikTok, you mentioned it a little bit. You have to get to a certain point before you can go live.
Right.
Like, it's not just like Facebook or YouTube or Instagram where it's like you make an account and now you can go live. Like, you have to hit like a certain point in your TikTok. So for you to go live the other day is exciting. What'd you do in your live?
So in my live, the one thing I did was I opened it so that people could, ask questions, just to like kind of get to know me, because it was my first one. We were like celebrating that I had like my first, TikTok live. And one thing that I've actually got that I got into, I think it was back in April, I want to say, that kind of like grabbed my attention was tarot readings. And so now most people, I feel like they have this like stereotype of tarot readings where people think, oh, that's like witchy, or that's, especially for us growing up at church and stuff like that, people being like, that's not of God and blah, blah, blah. But I really feel like I was drawn to it because it is such a like spiritual experience. And the way that I believe in using tarot is not to be like, I don't claim myself to be a witch. I don't claim myself to be a psychic. I know that there's people that are out there that have those abilities and different things like that. But for me personally, it was a way to kind of, it's like a tool to look into yourself and do some introspection and kind of find those things that you can work on. Because a lot of the time I started off with just, pulling cards for myself and just seeing like, let's see what it is, because I was, just curious, and things would come out, and I've started to learn more about myself personally. And then being able to like go on a platform like TikTok, and like even in person, like having my roommates, and even people that I didn't even know, like my roommates' friends and stuff, I've done, some readings, and we would like sit there for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and just talk about our life and like the things that are, going on, and things that we can do to make these things better, make these fix these things. Because a really important motto that I've lived by since going to college at Central, being in Dr. Lane's studio, who was my voice teacher, she always said, let your light shine. And I knew exactly what that meant, because growing up in church, they always talk about, letting your light shine and different things like that. But I don't think I really grasped it until I moved out into New York, and realizing that being who I am and doing what I need to do to be that person, that light attracts other people, and that light attracts other lights. And, we could talk about this forever, but I'm just saying, like, I just feel like it's such a like inspirational thing, and to be on TikTok and to like on my live yesterday, there was a woman who was talking to me, and she was like, can you do a little, pull some cards for me? And I don't even know her. I've never met her. She came into the live. I pulled some cards for her, and she was saying how she had just lost her job, and she was really thinking about, to keep doing her makeup and different things like that. And it was funny because she told me this after the fact that after pulling the cards, and I told her, you should, go after it. Like, this is the time to do it. Like, if you don't have anything else to do, why not, try to figure out what skills you have and trying to, take those skills and make them work for you right now and what we have going on, because focusing on the negative is just going to keep you, suppressed. And there's so much anxiety. There's so much, sadness right now with everything going on. And I feel like looking at our blessings, looking at what we do have, looking at the positive, really helps make these days a lot more easier. Like, I am so blessed to have the roommates that I have, to have the friends that I have, to have the family that I have, because I could be like shut up in a corner, not doing something, but being able to look at myself and say, hey, Elijah, you are more than just, like trying to go to Broadway or trying to sing and different things like that. What can I do right now in this moment with what I have and make something up? And that's exactly what I'm trying to do. So.
I'm sorry if you already mentioned this. How did you, like, is the right terminology, like, learn how to
Okay. Yeah.
do the
So,
readings?
well, I mean, I know that there are classes and stuff that people can take and different things like that. But since it is such a spiritual thing,
Mhm.
to me, it's like, it's kind of like, I think of it as like, us being Christian and, like going to church and different things like that. I don't think that there's a right or wrong way to do it. It's what do you think, it is? You kind of develop this like relationship, like for people who are Christians, you develop a relationship with God, right? And for some people, that's praying a lot. For some people, that's listening to Christian songs a lot. For some people, that's reading the Bible all the time. There's just different ways to do that. With some people, it's going to church every single Sunday or every chance that you get. Like, different people need different things. And so with doing this, actually, a friend sent me a video of Shanetta Divine. She's a tarot reader and like astrologist on YouTube, and her energy is so bright, and like she very much like builds people up. She looks at things at a like just from a perspective that I can relate to, and I think that's why my friend sent her to me, like, and on YouTube, because he said her essence kind of mirrored mine, and he thought that I could get a lot from her. And so that's exactly what I did. I started, just listening to her and what she had to say. And it was really funny because recently I have been realizing that a lot of things that we talk about in church that come from the Bible, a lot of these things are being said, but under different, different titles, different words. Because
Yep.
back when I was on a contract in Virginia, I had my cast. It was 4 people, including me. And we were a quartet, and we would have these conversations, about Christianity, because my friend Megan, she was like, Elijah, I just love it when you talk about Christianity, because you don't, she's like, you don't make me feel like I'm being attacked. You just talk with me on my level, and I enjoy that. So she would always ask me questions. And there was one day we were in the car with our friend Hannah, and she was telling me how hurt she was because she had Christian friends, and how they would always judge her or judge other people that were like in their circle.
Mhm.
And I felt so bad that I felt like I had to apologize for those people, because me being a Christian, that's not something that I do. And I said, Hannah, I am so sorry that, that this happened to you. But I just want you to know that all Christians are not that way. And I think, especially in today's time, in today's age, we have to understand that I personally believe that the days are over to, get up in people's, try to get in people's face, invade their space and say, do you know the Lord Jesus as your savior? I think us living a lifestyle of, light and love will literally attract people. And if they ask about it, if they're interested, they are. If not, that's okay. But we can still talk about those same things, but without shoving the Bible, down people's throats. That's how I look at it.
Totally. No, I agree with you. I think everything is just based on you believe what you believe, and if it feels
Right.
like it like calls to you, then like
Yeah, if it resonates.
learn more, and if it doesn't, then cool.
Exactly. Yeah, there's no right or wrong way, I feel like, to do this thing, because I honestly feel like what is lacking in our country, in our government, and everything that is going on in our society is literally a lack of love. And I'm talking about the whole spectrum. I'm talking about people loving people loving themselves. I feel like this is a time where people have just gotten so wrapped up in themselves that we've forgotten that love in a sense conquers all. It really does. And loving, I could talk about this all day, I feel like, but loving yourself, for an example, people always wonder why they don't have good relationships. They wonder why they don't have good friendships. They wonder why they're not in the job that they want to be in, and blah blah blah, because we settle and we take things that aren't serving us, because we're not truly loving ourselves like we should. If you think that you deserve something better, it needs to be said, and you need to do something about it, for as an example. And I feel like, yes, I love being at home, and I could have stayed at home and had a job that pays well at a warehouse and gotten many hours and different things like that. But I was so unhappy, and I would even pray. I would talk to my roommates, and I would be like, y'all, I am not happy. Like, I'm grateful that my job has taken me, this job has taken me back. I have this opportunity that other people don't right now, but it's not fully serving me. And so once I got to the point of where I needed to be, I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna make this thing work, and if it's meant for me, it'll work out. And so that's when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to New York. My roommates were coming back, and I was like, I'm gonna do the thing. We're gonna do the thing, because there's no reason for me to stay somewhere if it's not serving me, if I'm like in a bad mood, and and that's leaking off into other people and different things like that. It's like a toxic environment. So I just remove myself, because I know that there is something better out there for me. So yeah.
I love that. I know. I mean, in the arts in general, it's a huge issue. I think that a lot of us, if not all of us, struggle with. Like, we want to do that art for our life. That's what we want to do as a living, and we live in a world right now where that's not really that possible, unless you are making yourself do it to a point that you can finally reach that. But it's not as easy as getting like an office job, or
Right.
just a warehouse job, like you were saying, or a truck driver or something.
Right.
I mean, I've gone through so many jobs since I've started being someone who works.
Yeah.
And I've hated all of them. I haven't lasted a full year at a single job. And I mean, in some people's eyes, I understand that can look bad. Like, it can look bad for you to jump job to job, but it's like I didn't like it, and so I left. Like, I worked at a nursing home, or like an assisted living, and one of the men that lived there was like, if you don't like what you're doing, then there's no point in doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was
right.
like,
because what are you getting from it?
right. He goes, I worked at whatever he did for like this amount of time. It was like a stupidly long time. He goes, and I loved every minute of it. The only reason I worked past retirement was because I loved it. And I was like, I want that. Like, I want to love what I do, even if it's not making me the most money, or I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
I mean,
yeah, because honestly, money isn't everything. And like my mom would always tell me, she's like, all money ain't good money. And it's the truth. Money does not make you happy. It's almost like most of the time, people need like a sense of purpose. And that's what it like kind of means for something to like serve you, and in a sense serving others. So what makes you like feel like you're doing something that's being beneficial, or like changing people around you, kind of I guess giving to other people or giving to whatever, because just doing something just for the money isn't always what makes you happy. And in some cases, I know like people with families and stuff like that, they have to do that choice. Those things have to be talked about and said. But especially people who are single and, you know, like living on their own, stuff like that, you have some room to, you know, figure things out. And even if you do have a family and different things like that, you can still, like, while you're working that job, if you're not happy, I feel like you start going online and like starting to look for different things that could serve you eventually, and, you know, keep you financially secure, you know, with your family and stuff. But I think it's just so important to find something that you're like meant to do or that you feel led to do, because you're going to get so much more out of it, because you get out what you put in. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every time I'm going through like a bad time, my therapist will ask me, "What are you doing to create? Like, what are you doing that you're creating something?" And the first like two or three times that they asked me that, like within those periods of time for me, my answer was, "I'm not doing anything." And they're like, "Well, why don't you do something?" And I would like think about it, and then I just wouldn't do it. Because it just felt like a lot. And my brain was like, "That's not going to help you." And then this last time, when I there was like, "I need you to like take that step. What are you doing to create? What are you doing to feed
Right.
that part of you?" I was like, "Okay, I gotta sit down and do it this time." And it helps. It seriously helped. I mean, it got
Right.
me this show. It got me to help my partner with their shows. It got me to create a website for myself where I advertise the work that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not getting paid like the big bucks. I make maybe like $5 sometimes, but
And see, that's the thing. It's honestly like I told you, like even with my TikToks and everything like that, I didn't expect to be, you know, at over 1,000 followers where I could go live. But the thing about it is that I'm not doing it for the fame. I'm doing things, you know, because I want to help people. I want to, you know, make people laugh. I want to do this. And when we get out of that mindset of I'm trying to do this, you know, just for like the material things, if you're doing something that is serving you and you're at your happiest and your highest, you know, kind of like at your highest self, in a sense, all these things will be attracted to you, because of your energy, because of what you're putting out there, because people are going to see that you love what you're doing. And they're going to be like, hey, you know, how do I become that happy? You know, like, how do I, you know, feed off that energy? People are going to want to be around you or be attracted to you because of your light. Literally in one of my TikToks, I remember talking about how there's like, if you think about it, at night when you have a porch light on, you see all the different bugs that like are attracted to this porch light, right?
Mhm.
And that's like us. Like when we are our happiest, when we're at our highest selves, when we let our light shine, so many things, so many people are going to be attracted to us. But then the work also comes in with, just because it's coming to you does not mean it's for you. So it's like another lesson too, where now you have to start kind of discerning and kind of figuring out who's in your corner, you know, who's not really serving you, who's trying to use you. But that's just part of it, you know. That's just part of the work.
Wendy asked, "How do we find you on TikTok?"
Okay, so my TikTok is at Eli Ray Stin. It's like all my social media handles. um, yeah, my Instagram is Eli Ray Stin 96. And I think my Twitter is Eli Ray Stin. Yeah, like that. Thank you.
There you go. So that is the largest TikTok and possibly other social medias.
Yeah, yeah,
Some variation of where is it here? Some variation of this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's me. But yeah,
Luna said, "Just trying to be that porch light."
come on, porch light. Right.
I mean, honestly though, I mean, big or small, your light is important, whatever that light is.
Even I told Riley, I told you, I was like, you were like, I just asked you, I was like, how many people, you know, like view? And you said, I probably have a good, like, you know, like 20 or whatever. And I was like, that's fine. If it was only Jenna, if it was only one person, I wouldn't care. I was like, because that one person is so important. And we fail to realize that. Like that one person could be the person that brings two more. And those two more could bring three more. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
yeah. So
I wanna highlight this. Julie said, Julie said, sometimes it takes change of environment to push you into going for a different type of job. I moved to Nevada, gave horseback riding lessons, and got certified as a judge, and got back into being a florist. I could not have done that here due to lack of hiring.
Right.
That's true. I mean, something that I firmly stand by is that once in your life, you need to move.
Yeah,
Uh,
you need to move, and it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be, to me, it doesn't have to be like moving from Michigan to New York. I feel like sometimes it doesn't have to be a physical move. Sometimes it could just be like either a spiritual move, whether it's like something that's like a spiritual awakening, sometimes moving from certain people in your life and trying to be in different, try to be around different people with different mindsets and different things like that, moving yourself from certain relationships, work environments, home environments, different things like that. A prime example is my dad and my mom. They lived in Muskegon for the longest time. They grew up in Muskegon. But them growing up there, they knew that they didn't want that life for their children. They just felt like there wasn't that much opportunity there, and they wanted better for us. So what they did was they moved 30 minutes, half an hour to Grand Rapids, Michigan, because my dad's job actually moved. And I can tell you now that I would not be the person that I am now. I wouldn't know the people that I know if it wasn't for them making that sacrifice and taking that courage to move to a place where they knew would have more opportunity for me and my sister, me and my sisters. Yeah.
I would say I agree with everything you say. I do think at some point that for me personally, the
Hmm.
move should be physical. At some point, I think a physical move should be made only because I've seen people who have lived in the same town their entire life and never meet new people because everyone stayed in the town.
Mhm.
And so they never got to be who they wanted to be because
Right.
they always felt that pressure of like, oh my God, everybody knows me and knows whatever part of past me, and I like should just stick to that.
Right.
I don't think if I had stayed where you and I grew up, I don't think I would have come out. I don't think I would have found who I was.
Mm-hmm.
So Jenna said at me, Riley, you went to CMU though.
And
No,
you,
listen, you did a physical move to a completely a completely different city of some sort. I mean, I didn't move far. I moved 2 hours. I'm still in the state of Michigan, but I
mhm.
moved to a place where I didn't know anybody except one person. I went to I went to college with one other person that I knew. So I don't know. I think at some point, no matter your age, even if it's like super later in life, I wasn't saying like right now, Jenna, you should do some type of physical move. That's just me. I think.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, honestly, um, if I wouldn't have moved to New York, that physical move was there. And even going to Central Michigan University, if it wasn't for me going to Central, I don't even think New York would even be really on my mind, because I was always that person that was like, I'm just gonna, stay at home. I'm gonna work for like 2, 3 years, save money and blah, blah, blah. But there was just this like urgency and this push once I did um this college showcase in New York for a spring break during my senior year. I was the only one that went from my school. And I did that, and I had 7 agents that were interested in me at the time. And so when I got back and I graduated, even my mom was like, Elijah, you got to go, because in 2 or 3 years, these agents are going to move on. You know what I mean? And it was just like, you're absolutely right. And I was scared to say that I wanted to move to New York right away, but I was like, Mom, I want to move to New York. And I was shocked that she agreed with me like so, quickly. But moving to New York has been one of probably the best decisions that I've made for myself. And as much as I miss my friends, I know y'all know them: Joshua, Simon, Jackie, Ashley, Aaron, all these people, from our high school. I I would not be the person that I am without moving, to New York. And I think it's very important to, highlight that for sure.
Right. And I mean, Julie says, and I hope I like, I hope I made sense and what I meant by moving. So, like Julie said, 40 years, and a few of those not in 43 years, a few of those not in Pinckney. Been in the same house since I was 2. That's amazing to me. One, because I love the house that I grew up in as well. Like if like one day I had to move back there, like I wouldn't be angry about it. I just mean at like some point, even just like a couple months,
Yeah.
like just spending time somewhere else.
Yeah, it honestly gives you such a different perspective on life, because I've always lived my life, you know, with my family, and then I'd hang out with my friends in Grand Rapids, and then we'd go to church in Muskegon. I'd go to work, and it was just home, church, work, friends, home, church, work, friends. And then once I actually got out, especially going to Central Michigan University, just that alone, seeing the different people that are out there, the different personalities, people who see things differently than you, really helps you to start understanding and seeing how the world, you know, works. Because we sometimes get so wrapped up in this bubble that we fail to realize that there's more around us than we're actually allowing ourselves to see.
Right. And I know, like for me, I mean, I was my parents, well, my mom's only child, and so I grew up on my own. My half siblings were like out of the house, and so I mean, my parents did a lot for me. They loved me. They did a lot for me, and so moving out gave me the push to like learn how to do things.
Yeah.
I mean, just like basic things. Like there's still things today that like my partner is like, "Hey, can you go do this?" And I'm like, "What?" I like someone else always like took care of that. Are you sure you
Right.
want me to do it?
When I got to college, I kid you not, being a multicultural advisor, inclusion assistant, whatever they call it now, being in res life with the RAs, the amount of people that came to college and did not know how to do laundry was kind of just mind-boggling to me, because I was like, my mom was the type of person who had me on a step stool at the age of 3 cooking my own eggs. So it was just like so different to see how the different lifestyles that people come from, and then once you're removed from that place, how it affects you, you know, how it can affect you, I should say. But it was just so interesting to see, because I was like, I've been doing my laundry since I was like probably 12, and it was just so, I was just like, you are you being serious? Like, is this a joke? And they were like, no, can you help me? And I was like, of course. But it was just very interesting, very interesting.
I definitely, I mean, I knew the basics of laundry. Like you separate it to like the different things, you put it in the machine, put some soap in, boom. But like the washer had so many different settings. I was like, Mom, what setting do you put this on? And then like, I mean, some places that I've lived in various places on this side of the state in particular. And like some places, like they don't have a lot of setting options, or like I don't know. It's just like they have really like crappy like washers and dryers, and you're like, do I really have to put my clothes in this?
But then you start, once you get out there, you go to Central, for example, and they give you a certain amount of money. And yes, it costs money to separate your clothes. So most of the time people just throw everything.
I definitely became that person. It's expensive. Like it adds up, because at Eastern they don't do that. They don't give you money for laundry, and so or like any assistance or anything. You just have to hope you got quarters on you and call it a day. And half the time, half the machines were broken. So so I would come home and like my mom would be like, "Can you help me with the laundry?" And I was like, "Do you want me to separate it?" She goes, "Yeah, I want you to separate." I'm like, I have not been separating my clothes for the last 6 months, and I've been just fine.
Your mom is so funny. So funny. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Mom and Dad. I miss them.
Speaking of your mom and dad, I think I already told you this, but it was just so funny that I was doing a little call job for 2 days with Broadway crew.
Right.
And it was like a Ken Davenport thing, some theater thing that was going on. It was so quickly run down to me because I was like told the day of. And it was so funny because we were looking at the call list and I saw a 616 number and it said Gary Saronin. And I said, wait a minute. I said, Gary Saronin. I said, I know this man. And then I put my cursor over his email and his little picture popped up and I said, that's Gary.
So you had to call my dad?
Yeah, he probably has a voicemail. I hope he saved it.
Saved it forever, made it his ringtone, made it his alarm sound. He listens to it.
Right.
Dad, did you ever, I want to know, Mom, did Dad ever listen to that voicemail? Let me know, because now I need to know the details. Was it professional? Did he know who Elijah was?
But at the same time, I was like, hi, Gary. I was like, this is Elijah Stinson calling from.
I love it. My mom's trying to call me out. Do you separate your laundry now? No, you know why? Because the water bills are ridiculous. Got to get it all done as quick as possible because those water bills are no joke.
That's true.
I'm not trying to pay a high water bill.
No, absolutely not.
Stop. I posted some charts on his page to help. Everyone's attacking me now. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have said anything about my laundry.
Now they're calling you out. Ooh.
Welcome to my show. This is what happens on my show. I just get attacked sometimes.
She said he's looking for it.
I can't wait. Oh my gosh. I wish I had it so I could just like play it on the air.
Yeah.
This is Elijah Stinson. He said, hey, I was at Ken Davenport's online conference a couple weekends ago.
Yep, that's what it was for. Yep, that's exactly.
So did the phone call inspire you? Do you get a raise if my dad says yes? Do you get like a little like compensation?
I think it is, but he does not have to if he doesn't want to. Because
say Elijah Stinson recommended you, and you went because he called you personally. He was the best phone operator you've ever spoken to in your entire life, and Elijah will get like an extra $3.
And that's on period.
See, this is my cousin Christine. She said sorting is purely optional. Thank you. Boom.
Boom, boom.
Mike.
Christine has spoken.
My family. They're amazing. I love them.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of family, Keziah was my sister. She was the one person in my live yesterday. She stayed the whole time, so I always at least had one person in my live. And I was like, come on, sis.
Keziah. How is Keziah? What is she thriving in these days?
Culinary, actually, from what I know. She loves it. And I honestly, I can't keep up with her because she always has stuff going on now, which is great to see and great to hear about. But I know that she that is something that she really has taken a hold of is culinary school. And I hope she thrives at it because she does make some good stuff, y'all. Not gonna lie.
This shows how much my dad's paying attention. What was the call for? For the conference, right?
Yes.
For the conference that you mentioned, the Ken Davenport's online conference. That's why we need you to recommend that Elijah was the reason you did the conference.
And I don't know if that number was his cell phone number or if it was a business number. Who knows? But I left a message. So
I hope it wasn't their disconnected landline.
Oh, God. They have a voicemail?
They don't have it anymore. So I guess it would have told you it's not a real number anymore.
Right.
My mom said, I'm reporting you to Facebook. No, don't report me. You'll never see me again. I'm just kidding. Literally, because this is how I only see her now, thanks to COVID.
Oh, God. Well, I mean, yeah, that's how a lot. And that's the crazy thing, too, is like because of COVID, I've connected with so many people that I haven't talked to in a while. And it's just been good, to see. Because like even you, I hadn't talked to you probably honestly in years. And before this, it was like sometime over, we had FaceTime earlier on.
Yeah, it was a couple months ago, I think.
Yeah. But it was just crazy because I was like, wow, I haven't talked to this person in so long. And it was just good to, to reconnect with people and see how they're doing, what they're up to now. I think it's just really important to keep in touch for sure.
He clarified it was his cell phone. Boom. Now we know. The mystery has been solved. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, please check out Elijah on TikTok. Do you have anything else that you want people to check you out on?
I mean, if they want to, I really don't care. You can check me out on Instagram as well. My handle there is Eli Rayston, but it has 96 after it. And yeah, and if you want to check out my song again, it's on Spotify and Apple Music. It's on a lot of things actually. Now that I'm thinking about
YouTube.
YouTube, I think it's on like Pandora, and like they released it on a lot of things. So please feel free to listen to it, and hopefully I'll definitely try to keep writing more music. So
yeah. Please do, and then share it with me so I can share it with everyone.
Right. Yeah. So, y'all, before I'm done talking and let Riley take over, I just want to say, remember to always let your light shine. Don't ever dim your light for somebody else, because if they can't handle your light, that's on them. That's not on you. So be true to yourself. And I hope you all have a great night.
Thanks, Elijah.
Yeah.
He's just wonderful. What a ball of light he is. It just makes me happy. If you could still see the comments, Elijah, you got everyone raving over here for you. It's amazing. We have Mama Walker. Hi. Jonah's mom. I just look at all these people. You better, what does it say? You get better looking every time I see you. Aw. Look at that. That's sweet. She sometimes says that about me. I'm just kidding. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show as much as Elijah and I did on catching up. I'm hoping next week, my next week's guest is not confirmed quite yet, so I won't announce it. But if they're not able to do it, we'll have something and someone very fun and exciting. So definitely stay tuned on what we're going to be doing next week, because I think it's going to be fun if I can have the guest who I want to have. Thank you for tuning in. If this was your first time, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you will be back. What we are doing later this week. So if you're on Facebook, you'll see in the pinned comment, I have a link there. It shows all the shows that we have going on for the rest of the week on Boylesque. On Friday, we have our regular virtual drag show. It's 100% virtual, taking in consideration our safety as well as your safety. We'll be following the new Michigan orders, and so all of our queens will be calling in from different households for the show. So I'm pretty excited to see how that goes, because we haven't done that since April, because then the rules got a little bendier and they got to come over. But so it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely check out Friday's show. Is only $15. You can send your $15 to any of the payments that are scrolling across the screen here. Please include your email address, because that is where we send the private show link. And it's a lot of fun. We have a comment section that is open, just like the one on tonight's show. So you can comment along with your friends and just have a good time. You should, so definitely check that out. What else do we have? On Saturday, we have our family friendly show. Those are a lot of fun. I participate in those. I do drag story time. Hershey does a dance lesson, and Jaden does a music lesson, and then we do performances as well. And those have been a lot of fun. I talked about earlier in the show what I've been doing to help with my creative part of my brain, and that's one thing I've added to my list, and it's a ton of fun. We're going to be adding some more live stream different things. Jaden is working on a podcast. Ani is working on another show idea. So you have a lot of fun stuff coming for you. So if you don't already follow Boylesque Michigan on Facebook. I see Jaden is commenting for me as Boylesque Michigan. Thanks, I guess. Thank you, Julie, for putting the shows in the comments for people to check them out. Thank you so much. Feel free to send me any tips, because that's always appreciated. It helps pay the bills and keeps the lights on. So yeah, everyone have a great evening. Do something for you this week, tonight or sometime this week. Check out Elijah on TikTok. He's very inspirational, very down to earth. Yeah. So have a great rest of your week. Happy end of your Wednesday. Stay safe, stay healthy. You are loved and worthy of love. Bye, everybody.